Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Inshane Designs. This video is going to be an in-depth video on a procedure on how to wrap a boat. So I wanted to show you guys, what goes into wrapping a boat, all the, critical areas, what's important, what's not. As you can see, the shop is pretty much empty, except for this. We wanted to be able to focus on just this, so we got all of our other jobs pretty much finished, or they're out sitting in the sun baking right now. What we're gonna get into is, everybody always asks, can you wrap a boat? Will it hold up in the water? And to answer that question, yes. If the right procedure, everything's done correctly, the boat will hold up in the water, in salt or fresh, doesn't matter. But as long as the correct things are done, which we'll go over here as we get into it. Number one thing on boats, so it is a gel coating. It is not a paint. I mean, it is a paint, but it's considered gel coat. And one of the known things for boats in their gel coat is over time, sitting in the sun with the UV rays, it likes to, chalk out or leave a powdery substance. And what that's caused for is obviously the sun. So first things first, this boat is actually in great condition. It looks like it hasn't been out in the sun for a long time based off of, residue on it. So, but the first thing you need to do is if it does have chalky substance on it, you have to clean it and clean it thoroughly. If you do not, and that stuff's still on there, the vinyl will not stick, it will fail, especially in the critical areas that are, the water lines that, water's gonna be crashing up and down on. And if that happens, it'll start failing, it'll lift, and then as water gets in those areas, it'll just ruin it more and more and more, and you'll just see a domino effect in the vinyl of, the lifted area getting bigger and worse. So obviously, number one, clean thoroughly. It's got a little bit of dust here, but it's part of the procedure. Cleaning is the number one rule to having a good wrap job. Prep and cleaning. So before you actually get into the cleaning process, you want to remove all your hardware. So we know the design is pretty much going to cover what's on there now. We're just going to make it a little cooler and fulfill more of the white. But we are going to keep sort of the design shape. We're adding something to the top. So what we're going to do is we know our design based off the rendering is going to start here and taper down along the side. So we need to get rid of all these little buttons, which is a Phillips head, pretty easy. Another thing you want to be careful with, because you're going to have an open fuel tank, you definitely don't want to use a torch. And you see we use a lot of torches, but this is something that's very critical. You definitely don't want to use an open flame around this. So we'll grab the heat gun and just heat it a little bit to get it, make our trim cut, and then go back to putting it back on to get it covered. Open fumes is definitely dangerous. So you want to make sure you know what you're getting into. You want to know what to use and what not to use. In this case, we are not going to use an open flame. We're going to use a heat gun. So that's another rule. Anything in a car, boat, or anything, if you're around the gas cap or the gas area, you definitely don't want to use an open flame torch. Little debris like this, it's like rubber or glue, some type of adhesive, that will show through the material, so you got to make sure that's clean. You want a nice smooth surface. The wrap material we use will conform to pretty much anything under it. If you got stone chips, you got a nice scratch, the vinyl will conform and show through. So luckily this has no scratches, no stone chips, pretty smooth, good to go. One of the things that we had to take into consideration was this rub rail. Now, it sucks because it's not double-sided. For the first time ever, something that you would want double-sided with the screws, it is not. So, unfortunately, we have to leave the screws in and then trim them out each individually, and there's probably about 100 screws going up along the side in that rub rail. Not too big of a issue, it just sucks that we have to hand trim all that stuff out. It'd be nice if we could take out all the screws and that stays placed with double-sided sticky, but it doesn't. You're probably wondering, why don't we just take it off and put it on over top? Well, it'll look kind of goofy with the design. You know, we want to try and manipulate everything as possible to make the design as close to the rendering as we can, and unfortunately taking those off we believe will not look good, so we're going to leave it on, and we're actually going to wrap that piece with the sides. Stuff like this, easy trim around, we'll leave that go. We're not probably going to wrap that. It's just, it won't hold. And we will remove the graphics that are already on there along with his registration tag. We will put those back on, and then we'll probably have to use a clear to lock it, but all this red underneath for the old tag is going to be removed because it looks like crap. So we're going to make it look clean. We are going to cover over the Howard. Unfortunately, this is painted and there is a little bit of an edge, so you will probably see an outline around it. Not a big deal. It's not like this where the paint is actually under the gel coat, or I believe that is vinyl actually, and they gel coated over top of it. Yeah, so it's pretty much going over the pretty much going over the game plan of what we are prepared to go through as far as obstacles, all that stuff. You always want to set, know what you're installing on, check it out, go over your obstacles and set a game plan before you start getting into it. So number one, remove all hardware. Number two, get all the oxidation, if there is any, on the boat off by cleaning with a prep solution or alcohol, which we are going to use Geon Quartz Prep. The product is awesome, and it just makes a nice clean surface that the vinyl adheres to very, very, very nicely. So that's a little breakdown of what goes into a boat wrap. We have one side printed out, and we just got Curtis and Dan here prepping it all up. Curtis is taking hardware off, and Dan's prepping, not coming off. All right, so this is what the client wanted. This is what Dan, the man, laid out. So we got a few things that we're going to be manipulating. This black sheet piece you see here, it is white, so we are going to murder that out, make it look like it has a cool windshield to add some character. So that's going to be completely deceiving. Like, it's not going to be an actual window, it's just going to look like it.
When I'm with you, I am able to keep pushing my limits, and all the drive that I have, well, I'm going the distance with you. I didn't know what I had till I knew what was missing, and everything that I dread, well, I built a resistance with you. Catch me when I fall, and I'll keep you on the ground. You were gone, I wish you'd stay. I could look at you for days. Time was well spent, that's when I knew that I need to spend my life here with you. Fast lane, I understand that you've been broken too many times, but I'll be waiting to mend your wounds from all you've taken. But if we listen to each other, admit our mistakes, then I can show you who I am, because I'm not the same. I'm better with you. I'm better with you.
Wow, talking about a nightmare. That was a freaking stress ball that whole time. So we got it out successfully. What sucks is we have this huge ass ramp leading up to the 10-foot door, and not only that it's so steep, we got these big ass cinder blocks that makes it even more narrow. So oh, it was a nightmare. I don't like that one bit, not even a little bit. So hopefully we'll get that thing leveled out a little more. And also we run out of real estate here, so it's very tight here at the shop. Now he's trying to somehow maneuver this. But we got the 28-foot Howard successfully out. It looks amazing. That was a nightmare. I was a stress ball the whole time. I thought you were gonna have a heart attack. Yeah, my chest was tight. I'm all sweating. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna go over the boat real quick and then you're good to go. Awesome. All right, so here it is, guys. 28-foot Howard, custom design. We did a partial. We added the black strip to make it look like it's a windshield. Definitely is a little deceiving. It's not really a windshield or a tinted out windshield. It is just vinyl, but that was one of the cool creative things we came up with. You know, trick the mind a little bit. We are gonna finish the Howard logo. We're gonna add the custom 28 bullet. But yeah, man, this is it. The owner of the boat actually invited me out to go, me and my wife, to go out to Restyle this Sunday. So I think we're gonna go out, take it out on the water and see what she's got. So definitely stay tuned. Thanks for watching. 28-foot Howard custom boat wrap. It's a WRP here at Inshane Designs.